Hey, freshman. Today, you're going to start your research for your informational presentation. And I thought that probably would be best if I created a little tutorial to kind of show you what you're supposed to be doing. So you're primarily going to be working with this document, which I created. And it has instructions up here. I'm going to kind of walk you through the process as well. And then if you need to reference again, you can look at these. You're going to be finding 3 articles that you potentially want to use for your presentation. And once you get those articles, you're going to be annotating them. You're going to be putting them into Kami, annotating them, and then submitting them here as well. This table, though, is to help you to kind of organize your stuff so that we don't lose any information. And I'm also going to show you how to use the citation tool to get in-text citation information for yourself. So first thing we need to do, we have our document open. We need to go to the Jeffco Public Library. So I went ahead and just Googled Jeffco Public Library, and then I'm going to click on it. And we want to find the online databases. The best way to do that is to click on Online Library and then click on Teens. If you click on Adults, you can also get there, but it shows every single one. And Teens is better because it limits the databases and just gives you the ones that are the best for you. Now, because everybody has a different topic, and these topics are very different from each other, there's different databases that you might be using. So you have categories over here, and I would imagine that the ones that you'll probably be using would be under biography, current events, or history. Those 3 categories are probably where you're going to be using the databases. So if you are just researching about one person, you're going to click on biography. And you're going to want to use this biography in context. That's the best one. These other ones are just not as good, right? So I would click on biography and context and then search for your person. So that's if you're doing, Gandhi or Oskar Schindler or any, of the people during the Holocaust, those individuals, that's where you're going to go for your information. The current events one, there's a couple in here that probably will work really well. This is probably, if you're going to do current event databases, it's probably because you have a more recent topic that you're researching. So Black Lives Matter, the Occupy Wall Street, the Me Too movement, things like that. This global issues in context will work really, really well. The opposing viewpoints in context would work really well. Points of View Research Center would work. Those are the 3 over here that I would use, is the global issues in context, opposing viewpoints, and points of view. That's what I would use for current events. Then you might have history. So maybe you're doing Operation Valkyrie or things that were in the past, maybe something from the civil rights movement. And so you want to click on the history. And the ones that I would use for this one is, once again, opposing viewpoints in context, points of view reference center, and U.S. history in context and world history in context. Those are probably going to be the best ones. U.S. history in context, obviously, if you're researching something that happened in the United States. World history in context if you're researching something that did not happen in the United States. So those are kind of the 3. I'm going to pretend that I'm researching a person. So I'm going to click on biography and context, and then it's going to ask me to log in. I'm already logged in, and so it just went, and that's why you need to have your library card so that you can log in. So I'm going to pretend that I'm researching Oskar Schindler. So I'm going to just type in Oskar Schindler, and he just pops up, and I'm going to click on the search results. I don't want necessarily to look at this overview. Like, this is fine that we have some quick facts and stuff, but I can't cite this. I need articles. So I'm going to go and scroll down, and there's some featured content. I usually find that the featured content isn't necessarily the best stuff, but I would look at it. And then there's biographies right over here. This article looks pretty good, right? So I'm going to click on it. And when you click on it, you want to spend some time like starting to just scan, and you're like, oh yeah, this seems like a really good article, so I'm going to use it. So once I've decided I'm going to use this article, I now need to get some information about it over into my graphic organizer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look and say, okay, the title is Oscar Schindler. So I'm going to go ahead and type in Oscar Schindler. The author doesn't have an author on here, right? There's no author. So I'm going to leave that one blank. Then I am going to go and I'm going to grab the in-text, or not in-text, the works cited page information. I can do that in two ways. I can come up here and click this Cite button, and it gives me the information, and I can just click Select and then Copy. So I just did Control C. Or you can scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that box, that same box is down here. You just want to make sure that it's always on MLA. That's what we want. And so now I've copied that information. I'm going to come here and paste it in my works cited page. Maybe I didn't copy it. Let me try again. So I'm going to select. I'm going to do Control C. I'm going to come here. I'm going to do Control V. Yeah, it's not working. Let me try a different way. So I'm going to copy. And then I'm going to paste. There we go. All right. So now I have works cited page information. But I also want to get in text. And that's harder to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here to Tools. And I'm going to click Citations. Let me move my picture out of the way. And I'm going to make sure it says MLA. I'm going to click Add a Citation Source. And this one came from a journal article, and it was accessed in an online database. You're always going to do a journal article and an online database. We don't have an author. We do have a title, right? So we have Oscar Schindler. Then I have to go see about a journal title. So I'm going to get rid of this. The journal is People of the Holocaust. So I'm going to type that there. People of the Holocaust. And then it wants volume, issue, and pages. So it doesn't have a volume, and it doesn't have an issue, and it doesn't have page numbers. All that would be up here at the top. So I'm going to leave those blank as well. The year it was published was 1998. So I'm going to put that in 1998. I'm not going to do a short title. I'm not going to do the standard number. I'm going to do this one. And remember that this one is called Gale in Context Biography. So I'm going to type Gale in Context, biography. And then I'm going to leave that link blank, the URL. It has it here on this one, but I think that it looks like messy when you have the links in there. And then the day that I accessed it was the 10th. The month was February, and the year was 2021. So now I filled this all out. Now it seems like I'm doing this twice, right? Because I got the information here and then I'm putting it in, but there's a reason that I'm doing this. So now I have it formatted again, and it looks very similar to what I have over here. I'm going to click in this box, and then I'm going to come here and I'm going to click Cite. And what it did was it made the in-text citation for me. So now when I'm ready to quote or paraphrase from that source, I can just come here and copy this and put it in to my presentation. Now it says right here, replace the pound sign, right? The number sign with page numbers. I don't have page numbers over here. This is just an article on the internet, so I don't have any page numbers. So I'm just going to go ahead and delete that. And now I have my correct in-text citation. And you're going to do that for all your sources. You're going to put that information in. So now I've gotten all my information. I'm organized. I have this for later. I also, though, I need to start reading and annotating this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click download. It's going to download on the side as a PDF, right? And then I'm going to come and click the Cami button It's going to open up my Cami, and I'm going to click this button that says Open from Computer. So when I open from computer, I can find my Oscar Schindler PDF, and I'm going to open it. And it's going to upload it to my Google Drive. This is what it looks like. And I'm then going to start going and annotating. When you annotate for this assignment, you want to be highlighting things that you potentially want to use in your presentation. So information that you're like, I want to say that in my presentation. Important information that you might want to quote or paraphrase. And so let's say I start highlighting. I'm going to click this and I'm going to do text highlighting. Let me move my picture out of the way. I'm going to choose yellow. And let's say, oh, this is really good. I'm going to highlight this. So I highlighted that. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight this. I highlight that. And let's say this one was really good too. All right, I highlighted that. I'm done highlighting this. What I want to do now is I want to come back up here to this download button. I'm going to click download with annotations. I want it as a PDF with annotations. And I want to click this flatten annotations button. That means if you made any comments, they'll be flattened, and it makes it really easy for Mr. Allen to read and see them. So I'm going to click begin export. It's going to once again download to my computer. And now it's called Cami Export. Now I can go to Google Classroom in that assignment, and I can upload it to Google Classroom so Mr. Allen can see that I did my annotations. So I know that was a long process, but that's what you're going to do for your 3 articles. What you're going to turn into this assignment is this graphic organizer all filled out, and the 3 articles that you found from databases that you've annotated and then submitted to me. And then you're going to get 30 points. I can't give you points if you only turn in the graphic organizer. You have to turn in the other information. If you do, or the other, the PDFs, right? If you do all these things, when we get to actually creating your presentation and writing your script, it's going to be so easy to do because you've done all this work beforehand. All right, good luck on your research. Try lots of different search terms. And if you have any questions, go ahead and shoot me an email, and I'll do what I can for you. All right, good luck.